Ever wake up and notice things are a bit quiet down there? Many men figure it's just part of getting older. But what if age isn't really the main issue? What if it has more to do with what you're drinking or not drinking before heading to bed? I'm Dr. James. I've spent over 35 years caring for men in their 60s and beyond, and I can tell you this is more common than you think. Plenty of guys come to see me frustrated by softer erections, restless nights, or just an overall sense that something feels off. Most simply chalk it up to aging and try to accept it. But here's something that surprises a lot of them. Many of these problems might actually start right in the kitchen, with what they're pouring into their glass each night. Without realizing it, they've been making choices that quietly work against their performance and well-being. That's why I've put together this talk. I want to show you 4 drinks, each supported by solid research, that can help open up blood flow, calm down inflammation, and support the hormones your body needs to help you wake up feeling more like yourself. No prescriptions, no harsh side effects, just changes that begin with what's in your cup. If you'd like to hear more straightforward, practical ways to keep your strength up, stick around with me a little longer. Maybe even hit that follow button so you can catch more of these down-to-earth health tips. So how about it? Ready to dive in? Let me give you a better sense of what we're going to go through together. In this conversation, I'll walk you through 4 kinds of drinks backed by strong evidence. These aren't medications or risky supplements. They're simple beverages you can find at the grocery store, working naturally with your body. They help by improving blood flow, lowering inflammation that can clog things up, and supporting the hormones that keep you steady and confident. All this happens without popping a single pill. I know that might sound almost too easy. A lot of the men I've cared for over the years thought the same. They'd gotten used to hearing that another medication was their only option or that nothing could be done because that's just what happens with age. But small daily choices often have a bigger impact on circulation and sexual health than most people realize. And what you drink at night plays a larger role than you might expect. That's why I want to lay out exactly how each of these drinks supports your blood vessels and nitric oxide, all with solid science behind it. No hype, just the real biology that happens inside you when you take these steps. I'll also cover how long it usually takes to see changes, how much to drink, and the best times to have these beverages so they can work for you overnight. If this sounds like the kind of clear, no-nonsense advice you'd like more of, I'd love for you to stick around. Maybe even turn on notifications so you don't miss the next time we go over more ways to keep your health strong as you get older. Alright, let's start by looking at what actually happens in your body when it tries to create an erection. Once you understand that, you'll see exactly why these drinks can be so helpful. Before we get into the specific drinks, I want you to have a clear picture of what's going on inside your body. This way, it'll make perfect sense why these beverages can make such a difference. Every time you start feeling turned on, your body sets off a surprisingly detailed process. Your blood vessels need to loosen up and widen so more blood can flow in and stay there. That's what gives you a firm erection. The star of the show here is a little molecule called nitric oxide. Many of us in the medical field think of it as essential for both heart and sexual health. It tells your blood vessels to relax and open up, making sure blood can move exactly where it needs to. Here's the snag. As we age, our bodies naturally make less nitric oxide. And whatever we do produce tends to get broken down faster by something called free radicals. You might think of it almost like your garden hose losing water pressure over time, while new tiny leaks keep showing up. The result is slower circulation, erections that aren't as reliable, and often a gradual dip in confidence that spills into other parts of life. The good news is, certain nutrients and plant compounds can help restore this system. Some give your body what it needs to create more nitric oxide. Others protect the nitric oxide you already have so it sticks around longer. Still others help your blood vessels respond more quickly when the time comes. None of this is hype. It's real, proven biochemistry happening every time you take in the right foods or drinks. Usually, these effects begin within about 30 minutes, peak around 2 to 3 hours, and keep helping you for 6 to 8 hours. When you look at it that way, it's easy to see why timing matters so much. Stick with me here, because knowing how this all works sets you up to see why each drink fits into the bigger plan. Ready to keep going? Now let's look at how these drinks actually help support your body. There's more than one way to improve this system, and that's exactly why these beverages are so promising. Some give your body the raw materials it needs to make more nitric oxide. Others help protect the nitric oxide you've already got from being broken down too quickly. And some help your blood vessels stay more responsive, so when your brain sends the signal, your body can answer right away. This isn't guesswork. These processes have been studied for years, and each of these drinks works along one or more of these lines. That's why they can support better blood flow and overall function over time. What's interesting is how fast this can start happening inside you. Once you take in these helpful compounds, your body usually starts using them within about 30 minutes. From there, the effects build up, hitting their highest point around 2 to 3 hours later. For most men, that benefit sticks around for 6 to 8 hours, sometimes even longer if you keep up these habits daily. When you look at it this way, it becomes clear why timing is so important. Having the right drink before bed means it's quietly working for you all through the night, right when your body does some of its most important repair. Your blood vessels relax, inflammation goes down, and your cardiovascular system gets that overnight tune-up. So instead of seeing this as just another beverage choice, think of it as giving your body exactly what it needs at exactly the right time. Hang with me because next I'll show you the research that really proves how much difference these small, consistent choices can make. You might be surprised by the numbers. Now let's spend a minute on why having these drinks in the evening makes such a difference. Most men don't think about timing, but it's a big piece of the puzzle. Your body does some of its most important maintenance work at night. While you're sleeping, it's busy repairing blood vessels, reducing inflammation, and balancing out key hormones. It's almost like your body has a built-in night crew that gets to work once you're resting. By drinking these beverages before bed, those helpful compounds are circulating through your system right when your body is most ready to use them. Your blood vessels are already primed to relax. Inflammation naturally dips, and your cardiovascular system is in its best state to make use of those nutrients. This means you're not just getting a short boost in nitric oxide. You're also helping your body rebuild in deeper ways, which can add up over time. That's part of why many men start noticing they feel more rested, sometimes even waking up with stronger morning erections, after a few weeks of doing this regularly. When you think about it like this, it's easy to see why having these drinks 2 or 3 hours before bed works so well. You're lining things up with your body's natural rhythm instead of pushing against it. Even beyond your inner clock, it also matters what's in your stomach. Drinking fruit juices on an empty stomach can spike your blood sugar pretty fast. Having them with a small meal slows down absorption a bit, helping to avoid quick jumps in glucose while still getting the benefits. A little fat in a meal also helps absorb some of those important antioxidants. For many men, pairing these drinks with a light dinner turns out to be the sweet spot. It balances absorption, keeps sugar levels steady, and lines up perfectly for overnight circulation support. So hang in there, because next I'll walk you through some research numbers that show just how much of a difference these simple habits can make over the long run. Let's take a look at one of the biggest studies ever done on this topic so you can see these aren't just nice ideas without proof. This research followed over 25,000 men for a full decade. They kept track of what these men were eating and drinking and compared it to their sexual health over time. What they found was both hopeful and a bit of a reality check. Men who regularly had drinks rich in natural compounds called flavonoids were 9 to 11% less likely to develop erection problems compared to men who didn't include those drinks. That might sound like a small number at first glance. But think about it this way. Out of every 100 men who could have ended up with erectile difficulties, roughly 9 to 11 of them didn't, just by changing what was in their glass. That's pretty powerful for such a simple shift. Now, I want to be completely upfront about what the study showed. This benefit was strongest in men under 70. For men over 70, the drink still helped, just not quite as much. That doesn't mean it's pointless if you're older. It simply means we should view these drinks as one important piece of a bigger health plan, not some miracle fix. Another key takeaway was about consistency. The men who drank these beverages more often saw better results. That lines up perfectly with how the body works. You're not just flipping a switch once. You're supporting an ongoing process that needs steady input day after day. So keep following along, because next I'll start breaking down each specific drink so you'll know exactly what it does, how to use it, and why it works. Let's kick things off with pomegranate juice. Of all the drinks we'll cover, this one might be the most surprising, and the most powerful for circulation. Pomegranate juice is loaded with antioxidants, even more than almost any other fruit juice you'll find. These compounds do double duty. They protect the nitric oxide your body already makes and help your blood vessels produce more of it. There was a carefully run study on men with mild to moderate erection problems. For 4 weeks, half the group drank 8 ounces of pomegranate juice each day, while the other half had a placebo. The results didn't quite reach the strict cutoff for statistical certainty, but they were still impressive. About 47% of the men drinking pomegranate juice reported improvement, compared to 32% in the placebo group. What's interesting is that pomegranate doesn't rely on just one compound. It's a blend of polyphenol and other plant nutrients working together. Think of it as giving your system both the tools to build more nitric oxide and the guards to keep it safe. Timing matters here too. The antioxidants in pomegranate are absorbed best when you drink it with a meal that has a little healthy fat. Many men find having it with dinner works well, leading to a steady release of helpful compounds through the night. Aim for about 8 ounces of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice a day. Skip anything labeled as cocktail or flavored juice. Yes, it's tangy and sometimes costs more, but the benefits are concentrated in the real stuff. Next up, we'll look at a drink that's probably already familiar in your summer fruit bowl but turns out to be surprisingly powerful for nitric oxide. Now let's talk about watermelon juice. Most folks think of watermelon as just a sweet treat on hot days, but it's actually one of the best natural sources of an amino acid called citrulline. Your kidneys convert citrulline into arginine, which then turns into nitric oxide. That's why researchers sometimes call it nature's Viagra, though it works in a much more gradual, gentle way. Unlike popping arginine pills, which often upset your stomach and aren't absorbed well, the citrulline in watermelon converts slowly, giving you a steady stream of nitric oxide over several hours. Studies show that watermelon juice can bump up nitric oxide levels by about 21% in just 45 minutes, with effects lasting 6 to 8 hours. That makes it great for the evening, since it supports circulation right through the night. But there's a practical side to this. You'd need around 3 cups of fresh watermelon juice to get an effective dose of citrulline. That's a fair amount of liquid and natural sugar, so men with diabetes or prediabetes need to be mindful. The good news is that eating whole watermelon also gives you fiber, which helps slow sugar absorption. Sipping it slowly over a couple of hours can also help keep blood sugar steady. Here's a neat tip. Yellow watermelons have about 4 times more citrulline than the red ones. If you can find them, you can get the same benefits with less juice, lowering your sugar intake. Most men find that drinking watermelon juice 2 or 3 hours before bed is just right, giving your body time to start converting it so nitric oxide peaks while you sleep. Stick with me, because next we'll go over a drink that acts much faster and can give you a real boost in blood flow within hours. Now let's get into beetroot juice. If watermelon gives you a gentle, steady lift, beetroot juice works in a more direct, powerful way. It's rich in natural nitrates, which your mouth bacteria first convert into nitrites. Those then get turned into nitric oxide once they're in your bloodstream. This process is surprisingly effective. Most people see their nitric oxide levels peak around 2 to 3 hours after drinking beet juice, with benefits that last around 6 to 8 hours. There's a lot of solid research backing this up. Studies consistently show that beet juice can lower blood pressure by 4 to 8 points. That might not sound huge, but for men in their 60s and older, it can be the difference between feeling tired and sluggish versus being more energetic and ready for activity. Better circulation also means your body responds better when intimacy comes into play. In terms of how much, about 5 ounces of a concentrated beet juice or 8 ounces of a standard juice does the job. Many guys like the concentrated kind because it lets them drink less total liquid, which is handy, especially in the evening. One big plus of beetroot juice is how quickly it starts working. You don't have to wait weeks. Many men notice a difference within hours, which makes it useful for days when you want to feel your best for exercise or other plans. But beet juice does come with a couple of quirks. It might turn your urine pink or red for a short while. That's harmless but can be alarming if you're not expecting it. Also, it has a strong earthy taste that some never quite warm up to. Mixing it with apple juice can make it more pleasant without losing much of the benefit. For supporting circulation overnight, drinking it about 2 or 3 hours before bed seems to be the sweet spot. Some men even find they sleep more deeply thanks to the improved blood flow and slightly lower blood pressure. Next, we'll talk about a drink that takes a different approach, offering more of a slow, steady foundation for your vascular health. Now let's look at green tea. Unlike the other drinks, which mainly boost nitric oxide directly, green tea helps circulation through its powerful antioxidants, especially a compound called EGCG. Green tea doesn't give you a fast spike in nitric oxide like beet juice, and it doesn't have the heavy antioxidant punch of pomegranate. Instead, it works by quietly supporting your blood vessel health over time, serving as a strong foundation that other strategies can build on. There's decades of research showing that regular green tea drinking improves how well your blood vessel lining works, lowers inflammation, supports better cholesterol numbers, and even helps your body make nitric oxide more effectively. While there aren't direct studies linking green tea to erectile function, everything we know about circulation tells us that better vascular health anywhere helps everywhere. The ideal amount seems to be 3 to 5 cups a day, or about 250 to 500 milligrams of EGCG if you prefer a supplement. For older men, green tea is especially appealing because it's gentle, has very few side effects, and generally doesn't interfere with most medications. Plus, the benefits go beyond circulation, reaching your brain, immune system, and even potentially supporting longer overall health. Many men say they notice a calm alertness from green tea, a steady sort of energy without the jitters or crashes that sometimes come with coffee. If you want to try it in the evening, decaf is a smart choice. It keeps most of the antioxidants without the caffeine that might keep you up. Some men go for green tea extract capsules with dinner to get the benefits without adding extra liquid before bed. Stay with me, because next I'll show you why when you drink these beverages matters just as much as what you're actually drinking. Now let's circle back to something that doesn't get talked about enough: timing. Your body's ability to use these helpful compounds changes throughout the day. It's tied closely to your internal clock, your meals, and even how well you're sleeping. Nitric oxide naturally follows a daily rhythm. It usually climbs in the early evening and stays higher for the first part of the night. That's one reason many men notice stronger erections during sleep or early in the morning. Their body is already primed for good circulation at those times. By having these drinks 2 or 3 hours before bedtime, you're matching up with your body's natural high point. You're giving it the extra support right when it can use it best, almost like catching a wave at just the right moment instead of fighting against it. But it's not just your inner clock that matters. What's in your stomach plays a big role too. Drinking fruit juices on an empty stomach can lead to quick blood sugar spikes. Having them with a small meal slows down absorption a bit, which can slightly reduce the peak effect but also keeps glucose steadier. A little fat in the meal helps you absorb important antioxidants better too. For most men, pairing these drinks with a light dinner strikes the right balance. It smooths out how quickly the nutrients get into your system, helps avoid blood sugar swings, and lines things up for good overnight support. If you're on medications, timing matters even more. Some of these drinks can change how your body processes certain drugs. Taking them too close together might interfere with how well your meds work or how your system handles them. It may take some experimenting to figure out what schedule works best for you. Up next, I'll talk through some safety details that most online advice skips over completely. This part is too important to miss. Now let's have an honest talk about safety, because this is where most advice you see online completely drops the ball. These drinks can be incredibly helpful, but that doesn't mean they're always harmless. Especially for men over 60, you've got to think about how they might interact with your medications or how your body handles things differently as you age. Start with pomegranate juice. It's great for your blood vessels, but it also slows down the liver enzymes that break down many common drugs. If you're taking something like Viagra, this means the medication could stay in your system longer than planned, raising the risk of side effects. There's actually a documented case of a 74-year-old man who combined pomegranate juice with his ED medication and ended up with a painful erection that lasted 4 hours, needing emergency care. Beet juice brings its own caution. It lowers blood pressure quite well, which is usually good, but if you're already on medication for high blood pressure, it might push your numbers too low. There's a report of a 68-year-old man on an ACE inhibitor who started beet juice and soon felt dizzy and close to fainting because his pressure dropped too much. Then there's watermelon juice. It's generally gentle, but it's loaded with potassium. If you have kidney issues or take certain blood pressure drugs, your body might not clear out the extra potassium properly. That can lead to dangerous levels. And beyond all this, remember that after 60, your kidneys and liver naturally slow down a bit even if you feel perfectly fine. Blood sugar control gets trickier too, so drinking big servings of fruit juice, especially at night, can make your overnight glucose less stable. None of this means you have to avoid these drinks altogether. It just means you need to use them wisely. Up next, I'll show you how to start safely so you can get the benefits without running into problems. Stick with me. So how do you actually put all this into practice in a way that's safe and effective? The key is to start slow, pay attention to how your body reacts, and always keep safety first. It often makes sense to begin with the option that carries the least risk, and that's green tea. It does a great job supporting your blood vessels with almost no downsides for most men. Try starting with a cup in the evening, maybe decaf after dinner, and see how your body handles it over a few weeks. Watch for changes in your sleep, energy, and any subtle shifts in how your circulation feels. If you want to try one of the fruit juices, ease in carefully. Don't go straight to a full glass. Start with 2 to 4 ounces and build up slowly over a few weeks. This helps your body adjust and gives you a chance to notice any problems early. Also, there's no need to drink all these juices every day. Many men do well rotating them. You might have green tea most evenings, pomegranate juice a couple nights a week, and beet juice once or twice. This gives you variety without overloading on any one compound. Be picky about what you buy. Choose pure, unsweetened juices. Skip the cocktails or blends that are mostly sugar. Organic can be worth it here since concentrated juices also concentrate any leftover pesticides. I always suggest keeping a simple journal. Note what you drank, how much, and how you felt afterward. This is incredibly helpful for figuring out what works best for you and gives you something clear to share with your doctor. Above all, keep your healthcare provider in the loop. Talk openly about what you're adding, especially if you're on medications. It's much better to head off problems than wait until something goes wrong. Next, let's look at how long it typically takes to see changes, and what kinds of results you can reasonably expect. Now let's set some realistic expectations about how long it takes to notice benefits. A lot of supplement ads promise quick, dramatic changes, but natural ways of improving circulation and sexual health usually work more gradually, building up over time instead of flipping a switch overnight. If you want something that works quickly, beet juice is your best bet. Most research shows it can start improving blood flow within 2 to 3 hours. That might mean feeling more energetic, finding exercise a little easier, or just feeling more alive in your body the same day. For sexual function, the timeline is longer. That study on pomegranate juice found improvements after about 4 weeks of steady use. Many men notice smaller changes like better morning erections, quicker response to touch or thoughts, or simply more confidence after 2 or 3 weeks. With watermelon juice, results often show up between 2 to 4 weeks. These tend to be gentle, steady changes, better overall energy, smoother circulation, and gradually more responsiveness. Green tea works most slowly. It's all about building up the health of your blood vessels over months, not weeks. Still, many men feel clearer-headed, sleep better, or notice a subtle lift in mood and energy within a few weeks of regular use. Everyone's different. Your overall health, how serious your circulation issues are, the meds you take, and even your genetics all shape how quickly you'll see improvements. Some men feel changes in days. Others need a few months. That doesn't mean it isn't working, it might just mean you need to adjust your dose, your timing, or look at other lifestyle factors. Next, I'll show you why combining these drinks with good daily habits makes the biggest difference. Stick around for that. Here's something that often gets missed when people start focusing on these drinks. They're not meant to work alone. You'll see the biggest improvements when you combine them with other healthy habits that keep your circulation strong. The men I see who do best aren't just sipping beet juice or green tea. They're also staying active, managing stress, getting decent sleep, and keeping their weight in check. All these pieces work together to give your blood vessels the best shot at staying flexible and responsive. Take exercise. Even a brisk half-hour walk daily can do wonders. It helps your body make more nitric oxide, keeps vessels stretchy, and primes them to respond well. Plus, staying active lifts your mood and energy, which ties directly into feeling more confident and ready when intimacy comes up. Then there's stress. Ongoing stress narrows your blood vessels, lowers nitric oxide, and messes with your drive. Men who take time for simple relaxation, deep breathing, light stretching, or even meditation, often get more from these drinks because their body isn't stuck in a constant state of tension. Sleep is just as important. Poor sleep throws off hormones, boosts inflammation, and slows down blood vessel repair. The nice thing is many of these drinks actually help you sleep better by improving circulation and gently lowering blood pressure. Keeping your weight healthy also matters. Extra pounds can restrict blood flow, lower testosterone, and throw off how your body responds to arousal. The antioxidants in these drinks can support healthy metabolism, but they work best alongside smart eating. And don't forget how your outlook and relationships play in. Being proactive about your health and enjoying close moments with people you care about can do as much for your well-being as any drink. Stick with me. Up next, I'll explain why these drinks should always go hand in hand with professional care. This part is too important to skip. Before we wrap this up, I want to be completely clear. These drinks can be powerful tools, but they're not substitutes for proper medical care. They're meant to work alongside your doctor's advice, not replace it. If you're dealing with noticeable erection problems, it's critical to talk with your doctor. Many men don't realize that erectile issues can be an early sign of heart trouble, diabetes, or other serious conditions. Catching these problems early could make all the difference, not just for your intimate life but for your long-term health. The same is true if you have high blood pressure, kidney concerns, heart disease, or if you're taking several medications. Don't try to sort it all out on your own. Your doctor can help you figure out which drinks are safe for you, and which ones might need more caution. More and more doctors understand how nutrition ties into circulation and sexual health. They'll often support you in adding these approaches, and can help keep an eye on your blood pressure, kidney function, and how your meds are working. It all comes down to open communication. Share what you're trying, ask questions, and keep notes on what changes you feel. That way, you stay in charge of your health with professional support backing you up. So where does this leave you? Hopefully with a better understanding of how these simple drinks can help keep your circulation strong, your energy up, and your quality of life high. You've learned the science behind how they work, how long it takes to notice changes, how to stay safe, and why pairing them with smart habits is so important. Maybe most of all, I hope you see that you still have plenty of control over your health. Just because you're over 60 doesn't mean you have to accept fading energy or poor circulation. With the right information and choices, and a little patience, you can keep your body working the way it was meant to. Even small improvements in blood flow can make big differences in how you feel day to day. They help you stay active, enjoy your loved ones, and keep soaking up all the good things life has to offer. If you've stuck with me this far, I hope you're walking away with not just some helpful ideas, but also a little more confidence in what's possible for your health. Remember, it's never too late to make changes that help you feel stronger, more energized, and ready to enjoy life to the fullest. If this kind of honest, practical health talk resonates with you, I'd be glad to have you join this small community by subscribing to the channel. Feel free to drop a comment and share what's worked for you, or any questions you might have. I read them all and truly enjoy hearing your stories. And if you know someone who might benefit from this, don't hesitate to pass it along. Sometimes just sharing a simple idea can make a real difference in someone else's life. Here's to your continued strength, health, and all the good moments still ahead. Thanks for spending this time with me.